Welcome to the video tutorial series of the wireless communication. I am our instructor Varshata. Let's start our today's lecture. So at the end of this video, you will be able to learn about the OFDM. Then we will learn about the multiple access comparisons, and then we will see the FDM versus OFDM. So let's start with the OFDM first. Okay, so OFDM, it stands for the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. Now, before starting the OFDM, let's have some idea between the multiplexing and multiple access. We have learned about the multiplexing as well as the multiple access. So I think all of you are aware about what is multiplexing and what is multiple access. Multiplexing is what it defines the entire concept, how you are able to access the bandwidth, how you are able to access the spectrum, how you are able to access that entire band that you have. Okay, so how that band is divided into different frequency channel, different time division channel. Okay, so based on the techniques that we are using, that is FDM, that is frequency division, space division, code division. Okay, so this all we have learned. So multiplexing that defines the functionality, how you are able to access this, and multiple access defines the application, that how you will access this multiplexing. Okay, so let's start with the OFDM. In the data communication and networking, orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, that is in short known as the OFDM, is a method of the digital data modulation whereby a single stream of data that is divided into several separate substream for a transmission via multiple channels. Okay, so here you have the different channels to transmit the numbers of the data. Okay, in frequency division, this is similar to the frequency division multiplexing with little bit difference that we will see in the next upcoming slide. OFDM use the principle of the frequency division multiplexing, that it is based on the FDM, where available bandwidth is divided into the set of the substream having the separate frequency band. OFDM was introduced in the 1966 by Chang at the Bell Laboratories and was improved by the Weinstein and the Egbert in the 1971. OFDM is used in the LTE, now it is used in the 5th generation technology also. Now, what is the working principle of the OFDM? So let's see about this. So OFDM is a specialized FDM, that is frequency division multiplexing, having the constraint that the substream in which the main signal is divided are orthogonal to each other. Okay, so here this is the condition that you are dividing the entire signals into different parts, so that signals are orthogonal to each other. Orthogonal signals are the signals that are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so a main property of the orthogonal signal is what? Is that they do not interfere with each other. Okay, still they are perpendicular, still they intersect each other, but still no interference is there. Okay, so when any signal is modulated by the sender, it is sideband spread out the either side. A receiver can successfully demodulate the data only if it receives the whole signal. If any signal is missing, then receiver cannot recover the signal. Okay, so here the condition is what? The signal that is sent by the sender, that is totally received by the receiver. So in the case of FDM, guardbands are inserted so that interference between signals and resulting in the crosstalk does not occur. Why? Because we are adding the guardbands in the FDM also, in the space division multiplexing also. Okay, so however, since orthogonal signals are used in the OFDM, no interference occurs between the signals even if their sidebands are overlapping. Even if the overlapping signals are there, no interference is there, no intersection is there. Okay, so guardbands can be removed, thus saving the bandwidth. So in FDM we require the guardband, in STM also we required it, but here we don't require, so that's why we save that particular bandwidth. The criteria that needs to be maintained is that the carrier spacing should be equal to the reciprocal of the symbol period. So in order to OFDM works, there should be very accurate synchronization is needed. Why? Because we are using the overlapping signals, that's why. In FDM, in STM, in CDM, we are not using the overlapping signals. But here we are using the overlapping signals. So accurate synchronization is must between the communicating nodes. So if the frequency deviation occurs in the substring, they will not be orthogonal and anymore, due to the which interference between the signal will occur. Now here in this figure you can see the difference between FDM and OFDM. We are using the OFDM on the basis of the FDM. The base for the OFDM is the frequency division multiple axis. So this following diagram plots the FDM versus OFDM to depict the saving in the bandwidth obtained by the FDM. How it saves the bandwidth? In FDM we require the guard band, so we can prevent the interference. But here in OFDM we don't require the guard band, so that bandwidth that is used by the guard band, that is saved. Got it? So here you can see in the FDM, channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, 4, 5 and 6, that means 6 signals are transferring on the frequency. Now in each and every signals there is a space. That space is known as the guard band. Got it? So here in FDM we are passing the signal like this way, but in OFDM we are passing the signal like this way. So here you can see the overlapping signals are there. But here you can see the exact accuracy is there, exact peak amplitude is there. Okay, so here we can save this much bandwidth that is defined over here, that is saving of the bandwidth. How? Because we are not defining any guard band over here, that's why. Okay, so this is mostly most flexible frequency multiplication is there. Now which are the applications of the OFDM? Okay, so digital radio, then Monday line and digital audio broadcasting and satellite radio, all these are the applications of the OFDM application. Wired data transmission is there in asymmetric digital subscriber line. Then fiber optic transmissions may use either OFDM signals or several distinct frequency of the FDM. Then wireless LAN also use the OFDM. All the Wi-Fi systems use the OFDM, including IEEE 802.11, A, B, G, A, N, AC, AX. All these technologies are using the OFDM. The addition of the OFDM A, that is orthogonal frequency division multiple access, to the Wi-Fi, that standard enables more devices to use the same base station simultaneously. Now OFDM is also used in the metropolitan area network, that is it is also used in the MAN IEEE 802.16. That means what? Worldwide interoperability for microwave access, that is the WiMAX technology. Okay, cellular data means long-term evaluation, that is the 4th generation. And 5th generation also use this OFDM technology. So now 4th generation and 5th generation we are using this OFDM technology. Now let's see what is the comparison between the multiple access. Okay, now all of you are aware about the difference between multiplexing and multiple access. So let's see the difference between this multiple access, because these are the applications that we are using to enhance the functionality of the multiplexing. Okay, so first here it is given at SDMA, space division multiple access, TDMA, that is time division multiple access, FDMA, that is frequency division multiple access, then CDMA, that is code division multiple access. Okay, so now on which basis we are defining the difference of this. So let's see. First one is the idea. Got it? So idea, that means in SDMA how we are going to define the entire band. So it's a segment space into cells and sectors. Space division multiplexing, we can take the example of the highway. In highway, numbers of lanes are there, lane 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So we are dividing the entire highway into different lanes. That is the example of the SDMA in the real life. Space division multiplexing. Got it? Then next one is the TDMA, that is the time division multiple access. So here the segment sending time into disjoint time slots demands driven or fixed patterns. That means the time is allocated to the particular signals. For this particular time, this will use the bandwidth. For this particular time, this signal will use the bandwidth. So like this way. Okay, then FDMA. So it segments the frequency band into this point subband. So that disjoint subband. So that means your entire bandwidth is divided into different channels, and each channel is allocated to the particular device or particular transmitter and receiver. So they will use that particular channel for transmitting and the receiving purpose. Then CDMA, that is, it used the spread spectrum using the orthogonal codes. Okay, so here CDMA, it is, for example, we can take the example of the same room. In the same room, there are numbers of students are there. Okay, so for example, 2 students are talking in English, 2 students are talking in Hindi, 2 students are talking in Gujarati, 2 students are talking in another language. So they are using the same space. They are doing that work at the same time, but they are using the different code for communicating. So if the signals will overlap, but still they can communicate. Why? Because their codes are different. So that's why we can say it is a CDMA, code division multiple access. So based on this concept, CDMA works. Then terminals, only one terminal can be active in one cell. Okay. Then in TDMA, all terminals are active for the short period of the time on the same frequency. Then in FDMA, every terminal has its own frequency that is uninterrupted. Then in CDMA, all terminals can be active at the same place at the same moment and uninterrupted. Why? Because their codes are different. That's why they are using the different code for the communication. And if these codes will overlap, no interruption is there. Then signal separation, that is based on the cell structure and directed antennas. Here synchronizations in the time domain. And in FDMA, it is filtering in the frequency domain. And in CDMA, code plus spatial receivers are there. Why spatial receivers are required? Because we have to decode the signals. Because signals are encoded with some code, some key. So we have to decode it. So that's why spatial receivers are required. Now what are the advantages of this? So advantages in SDMA, it is very simple. It increases the capacity per unit. Okay, in advantages of TDMA, it established and fully digital, and it is a flexible. Okay. Then FDMA, it is very simple. You just have to divide your entire band in the frequency. It is established and it is robust. Okay. Then CDMA, it is flexible. Why? Because each and every device can participate, but they have required their own code. Less frequency planning needed, and soft handover is needed over here. Now, what are the disadvantages of this SDMA, TDMA, FDMA, and CDMA? Okay, so disadvantages of SDMA, that is inflexible, antennas typically fixed. Then in TDMA, guard space is needed. Okay, we require the guard space to prevent the interference. Okay, then multiple propagations occur, that's why, and synchronization is very difficult in time division multiple access. In FDMA, disadvantages are it is inflexible, frequencies are a scarce resource. Then in CDMA, complex receivers were needed. Why? Because we have to decode the signals, that's why. Need more complicated power control for the senders. Because they have to encode the signals in one signals, and then we have to send that signal. When we will learn about the spread spectrum technology, at that time we will learn about how this CDMA signals are encoded and decoded. Because this also use the spectrum and combining your entire signals, and when it is received by the receiver, it is decoded. Okay, now what are the comments? So only in combination with the TDMA, FDMA, CDMA is useful. Whereas in according to the TDMA, standard in fixed networks together with the FDMA, SDMA used in many mobile networks. Then FDMA typically combined with the TDMA, frequency hopping patterns, and SDMA, that is frequency reuse. You can do the frequency reuse. Then CDMA, it still faces some problems, higher complexity, lower expectations will be integrated with the TDMA and the FDMA. So this is the comparison between the multiple access, different multiple access techniques that we have learned. Now let's see the difference between FDM versus OFDM. Okay, so here FDM, that is stands for the frequency division multiplexing. OFDM, that is OFDM stands for the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. So now all of you aware about this. OFDM is based on the FDM only. Second, in FDM guard band is required, whereas in OFDM we don't require the guard band. Why? Because no overlapping is there. Overlapping is there, but no interference is there. The spectral efficiency of FDM is very low, while the spectrum efficiency of OFDM is very high. Okay, so there is no relationship exists between carriers in the FDM. Why? Because each and every carrier signals have their own frequency. They are transmitting they are transmitting with their own frequency. Okay, so no any relations between signals. Whereas in OFDM, the relationship exists between carriers in the OFDM. Okay, because they are transmitting on the same frequency. Okay, with the different orthogonal codes. That's why. In FDM, bandwidth is committed to the different sources. In OFDM, single data source attaches all the sub-channels. FDM supports low data rate, whereas OFDM supports high data rate. It gives the high data rate. Carriers in the FDM are loosely arranged and much aside from each other, whereas carriers in the OFDM are densely arranged and close to each other. Why? Because we are saving the bandwidth of the guard band that is required by the guard band. So what we have to do? We have to overlap the signals. Whereas in OFDM they are separated, though they require more space. Application of FDM are in the radio and the satellite communication, and application of the OFDM, that is in the LTE technology and broadband internet. So in 4G technology, in 5G technology, we are using the OFDM, and much more applications that we have seen in this lecture. So we have learned about the OFDM, that is orthogonal frequency multiplexing. Okay, OFDM-A, that is orthogonal frequency multiple access. Got it? Then we have learned about the multiple access comparison. So we have learned the difference between the TDMA, CDMA, FDMA. Okay, and next we have learned about the FDM versus OFDM. Okay, so what is the difference between frequency division multiplexing and orthogonal frequency division multiplexing? So this is all about this lecture. Remaining interesting topic we will cover in the next lecture. Thank you for watching. We will meet in the next lecture. Thank you.